Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Josie, and I'm the human behind Rockin Bobbin Fiber Co. As you can tell by the title of the video, this is a knitting podcast. I haven't made an episode for my knitting podcast in a while, so I thought I'd give you guys a little update. For starters, I'm wearing a very well-loved cardigan. This is the Miles cardigan by Ozetta, and I knit it in, I believe, one strand of Drops Air. I can't remember the colorway name, but as you can tell, it's quite pilly, and I don't necessarily like how this yarn is wearing, but I do like this pattern a lot, so I continue to wear the cardigan. It does technically have buttonholes, I think. Yeah, it has buttonholes, but I never added buttons. There were new projects to do, and I just couldn't be bothered. No excuse, just couldn't, didn't want to be bothered to do that. Then next, I'm gonna talk about all my whips. So I have them all laid out in front of me, so hopefully I don't miss anything. First, I'm starting off with the back panel to my Mam's cardigan. So the Mam's cardigan is a seamed cardigan by Teti. I'm knitting this in 2 strands of plötulopi plus a strand of Drops Flora. The plötulopi is in the Galaxy colorway, and the Drops Flora is in black. And this is all done in, I think it's technically double moss, but it's a knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one for 2 rows, and then you switch the knits and purls. So then you go purl one, knit one for 2 rows, and you swap back and forth. But I have the 2 front panels done already, and then I think I have like 20 rows left to do on this back panel. The pattern recommends that you seam up the sides and the shoulders, and then you pick up the sleeves and the round. So I'm excited to see how that works with the seaming and the picking up. But for this one, I think when I'm all done with this panel, I think I kind of want to line it with like a fleece material. I got some fleece material from Joann's before it closed, and I think I just want to use it up. So it'll make it more like a jacket, I think, and it'll be nice, big, cozy, and warm. So there's that one. I've been really enjoying this one, actually. I find that the bigger needles reduce the pain in my wrist when I work on my knitting, so this one has been favored over all others at the moment. But that being said, I did get a fair amount of progress done on my wanaka pullover. So this is my wanaka pullover by Andies Knits, and I'm knitting it in Lavender Fiber Co. City of Emeralds, and I'm doing her classic DK weight, I believe, for this one. I have gotten rid of all the yarn band with all the information, so I believe it's just classic DK in her yarn. And I believe I shared that I finished one sleeve, and then I have most of the second sleeve. I want to say I have 2 decreases left, and then before the cuff, and then I'll be on the body, and that'll be pretty much the end. But this one I'm really excited about. Oh, and I'm gonna be putting those funky cat buttons on the button band because I thought it would be fun. So, and then I have my blanket that I am working on. I'm currently working on the 8th square down here, this brown one. But I really enjoyed how this like purpley blue one came out. I love this yarn. I kind of wish I had a full skein of it, but I'm happy having this. I'm having a really fun time with this one. So I'm technically using the techniques in the sweatshop blanket, but I've very much reworked it. Obviously, I'm not doing the half and half squares. I'm holding fingering weight yarn, triple, and I'm making the squares smaller. But aside from that, I guess it's the Sweatshop Blanket by Laura Penrose. And it's just a really fun pattern. Honestly, after I get some of my other lingering whips done, you might see me go full force into this and like sample knits for my business. But this one's been really fun. I think the color changes with the squares and the fact that the squares aren't very big really help move it along. It's hard to put down, that's for sure. And then the only reason this one's hard to put down is because the needles are so small and I tend to get hand and wrist pain when I'm working on it. But this is supposedly my sample knit for my leaf litter sock set that comes out the day this video gets posted, which is November 12th. I really enjoy the color pooling. This is my first ever variegated yarn that I named. There was like a first test, and I have those in the oopsies section of my shop because I wasn't sure if they were good enough. But I really like the color pooling on this. I'm working on trying to get this sock done. I guess you'll see in my shorts if it got done or how much it got done. But yeah, that's that one. So those were all my whips. Usually in the normal knitting podcast format, there's an acquisitions section, and I personally haven't bought like yarn to use in a while. I honestly don't remember the last time I bought yarn, but I did buy a few things to put on the shop, and I want to show you the results of some of my other yarn bases with the Autumn Whispers colorway, which is the variegated one. So I guess this portion is shop related news and updates. So first off is my leaf litter sock set, which comes with a full skein of the Whispers of Autumn colorway and this nutty brown. I just think they pair nicely together, and this one turned out really pretty. I will say, as I remixed the dyes that I used for this, I didn't take notes well enough, and my next batch turned out a little bit darker. So you could see yourself getting a darker one. I'm gonna try again to get this shade, these shades, because I think I figured out what I did differently to get this darker one. So my goal is to get everyone who wants one of these sock sets this shading. Obviously, I'm doing hand-dyed yarn, so nothing is going to be 100% like the other, which is proving to be an issue on my end because I do want to give you guys a consistent product, but I'm still learning. So there is going to be some variation between each set. So this leaf litter sock set is in a 80% merino and 20% recycled nylon sock base. And I think this base is more my preference. I find it to be squishier and it picks up the dye the way I want it to most of the time. And I just like the way it turns out. And so far the sock seems really comfortable too. But just like the difference I found in dyeing the second batch versus the first batch, when I went to go dye my superwash yarns, the dye picked up way different. And I thought I understood how to adjust, but this is after an adjustment in the dye, and it's still way darker, and it's not what I wanted. So I think for this month, I'm just gonna stick to the sock set, and this colorway won't be released in all my bases. It'll just be the sock set. So I do apologize for anyone that wanted like the worsted or the DK weight in that colorway. I just I need more practice. So I will put any of the ones that didn't turn out quite right on my oopsies page on my website, but I can't promise that it's very much. And aside from my dye adventures and my little reroute of just going with the sock set, I also found a website where I can buy like little notions and stickers to add to the site. So I found cute little stitch markers. So this is like a travel set of stitch markers. And then I also found these little woodsy ones, which I thought were really cute. So you can expect to see those listed this week as well. And then I'll get listings up for these different stickers. So I have this one, this yarn trip sticker, which I thought was really cute. And then this one might be my favorite, but I love cats. So I couldn't resist this one. And then because it's getting cooler out where I live, and some would even call it soup season, I got this one to put on the site, kind of like a little soupy ramen, and the noodles are yarn, and then a yarn chicken sticker. I also have a whole bin of like sock weight skeins and minis that I was just using to test the different dyes that I was getting in. I was wondering if you guys would be interested in getting having like a mystery sock set. These are just testers and stuff, so some of them might be patchy, but I'm thinking of maybe pivoting to doing like a bundle situation where I have maybe 2 or 3 different sock base varieties with their matching mini base. I've been researching a way to do bundles on the website, and you pick the sock base you want, and then you pick the color that you want your full skein to be, and you pick the color you want your mini to be, and I send it to you like that. I think I would then just like develop colors as necessary, kind of a thing. So you might see a big drop if I decide to pivot to this. You may see a big drop of different colors, and then you can get them through the site as like a sock set bundle. I am starting to feel a bit discouraged. I know starting a business isn't easy. Not seeing any sales makes me question if I should pivot and just do sock sets or not make videos. I don't get a lot of comments that give me feedback. So I'm not really sure if it's just that I don't have enough engagement or followers yet. But any info you can give me as a subscriber would really, really help so that I can kind of decide if this is something that can grow. I would just really like to know what everyone's interested in. I know the world is in a bit of a negative spot right now, especially in the US and like the Ukraine and all that jazz that's going on. So if I could get some input about what you guys would be interested in, that would really help me. There are some sad updates about SNAP benefits being reduced, and I think it's important for people to be able to eat. I can't even believe that I have to explain that. I also am considering donating a certain amount to a company that plants trees. So I think it's important to support people who need food and the environment, and I know that I haven't shared a whole lot about what my opinion is, but I don't agree with the current government and what they're doing. And it's very overwhelming. So I know everybody's mental health is kind of in the trash, and if there's anything that I as a business startup can incorporate now as I'm starting up, I will try to do that. I will need input from you guys to let me know what causes are important to you and how I can help. So I think eventually, once this business gets started up, I want to create a community space in my local area for artists and anybody who wants to be involved in art, even if it's just for fun. I'm not necessarily a super great business person, because if I could give all my money away and it wouldn't impact my partner's life at all, I probably would. But yeah. So drop in the comments below any information, anything I can do to help, and I'll see what I can do. I also want to hear about all your projects and how they're going for you. So please, please, please drop it in the comments below. But I really hope you like this sock set that I'm releasing, and feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.